Shadow and Bone Season 2 is almost upon us, and I want to read all of the books before the show comes out. So a little bit of my history with the Shadow and Bone universe. I read the first book, Shadow and Bone, when I was a teenager, and I really enjoyed it. But I was terrible at finishing series at the time, so I proceeded to not read any of the following books. Fast forward to when Shadow and Bone Season 1 of the TV show dropped, I decided to reread the book Shadow and Bone, and I decided to read Six of Crows for the first time because Six of Crows was going to be intertwined with the TV show. I then watched the TV show, which I very much enjoyed, and then proceeded to not read any of the following books. Here we are, Shadow and Bone Season 2 is about to drop, and I want to read all of the books before the show actually comes out, before watching Season 2. I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to read Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising. I keep wanting to call Ruin and Rising Rise and Ruin, which I guess sounds more pessimistic, but it's the name that's stuck in my head. Let's see if I can get all the books read before the show comes out.
So I am sitting outside the library and it is very sunny, but it's also very cold today. It is -2 degrees Fahrenheit right now. But I'm here outside the library. I'm going to go in. I plan on picking up Siege and Storm so I can read it while I'm listening to the audiobook. And I also plan on picking up a few other books for a video I'm planning on filming this afternoon. So I'll see you inside the library. Show you guys this cute thing my library has. They have something called a binge bag. So this is a bag that has an entire series in it. And if we look in here, I have the entire Shadow and Bone series. Let me try to open this up a little bit more so we can pull all of them out. Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising. So now I can binge all the books. I just want to show you guys that it is mid-March and we have a lot of snow on the ground. It is currently snowing, which I don't think you can see here, but we have 2 feet of snow on the ground. Little bit of a Siege and Storm update while I'm sitting beside my succulents. I have 2 cute little dragons guarding my succulents. Look at this. I've got this dragon, and then I've got this one which is all curled up. Look at that. Anyway, I have started Siege and Storm. I've only read the prologue and the first chapter, which the prologue is very lyrical and pretty, which I like. And then the first chapter, oh my gosh, we start things off with a bang. Like, things go bad fast. I was not expecting things to, kick off this quickly. I do want to give a little bit more of my thoughts on Shadow and Bone in general. Whenever I reread Shadow and Bone when Season 1 was coming out, I do remember thinking that it was somewhat typical YA fantasy, which is not to say that it's a bad thing. It's just that I've read a fair amount of YA books and a fair amount of fantasy books, so I'm somewhat familiar with the tropes. So it's not anything new or surprising, but it's still a lot of fun to read. So I'm going into the rest of the series with that in mind, not expecting it to be mind-blowing, just expecting it to be fun. I am going for a morning walk, and I thought I'd give you a little update on Siege and Storm. I am through chapter 6, which isn't that much further in, but some more things have happened. We found out a lot more about amplifiers, which for the most part is not good. And then I'm trying to be as vague as possible because I don't want to give spoilers in this reading vlog. But
I was kind of hoping that the people on the ship would help out. And at first I thought they did and it was kind of epic. But now I'm just wondering if they're using them. I'm not really sure where that part's going, but this will be interesting. I want to show you guys a little bit more of where I'm walking this morning. This is a pond. We can't really tell because there's 1.5 feet of snow on top of it. And then this is the trail. This is at a local park here. And some of the trail is clear and some of it is covered in snow because it was windy last night and the snow covered the path again. I learned the hard way that it is not wise to record yourself while walking on ice. So, I just met Nikolai, which the only thing I knew about Nikolai before starting this book was that he's a character that a lot of people really like. But I was not expecting that. Like, what an introduction. Oh my gosh. I think I see why people like this character. Hopefully I'm gonna like him too. I mean, wow. Yeah, I can't really say anything else without spoilers. Just what an introduction. We were going to go hiking today, but there is a wind chill of -20. And look at that snowdrift out our back door. So I am on chapter 16 of Siege and Storm, and I'm really trying to channel my inner teenager as I'm reading this book, because I can tell this is a book that I would have absolutely loved as a teenager. Like, I wish I would have continued the series when I was the target age for this. Right now, there's a little much drama and angst and love triangle stuff going on. It's fine, it's annoying me a little bit, but you know, I'm trying to bring back teenage Rebecca and read it through her eyes. Right now, I am very much Team Baghra. She is the most sane person in this book. Also, really sad. Like, we met up with her, we've had one scene with her, and oh my gosh. But anyway, that's where I am in Siege and Storm. I hope to be finishing this up soon and then starting Ruin and Rising. I need to go to the store, and I'm planning on walking because it's literally a 5-minute walk, but it's really windy outside, so I'm not really looking forward to that. Let me show you.
I mean, just look at the drifts that are outside our door right now. It's not blowing quite as much right now, but oh my gosh, look at the snow drifts.
So I finished Siege and Storm and I really enjoyed myself. I think this would have been one of my favorite books if I was reading it as a teenager. I really wish that I had continued the series at that time. I really enjoyed Nikolai. He was a lot of fun. I enjoyed his banter. He's a very entertaining character. I disliked that it became a love triangle and we had jealous Mel. I'm kind of over the jealous boyfriend trope. However, I'm trying to put myself in the idea this is really not for my age range. This is for younger me, and younger me might not have minded as much. So I'm trying to ignore the love triangle jealous boyfriend thing. And if I ignore that, this book was a lot of fun, and it definitely ended in a way that I did not expect. Oh my gosh, some of the things that happened to the characters were surprising to me. I am really excited to start the next book. I'm very excited to see where this trilogy goes. I'm having a lot more fun with this series than I remembered having. Like, I guess I've heard negative things about it enough that I just kind of go, yeah, that series probably isn't that good. Maybe because I went in with really low expectations, that's my impression. But I'm having a lot of fun, so I'm excited to be reading the rest of these, and on to Ruin and Rising. I am halfway through Ruin and Rising, and I am having a great time. I feel like the characters have actually matured. They're making better decisions. First off, both of these books, Siege and Storm and Ruin and Rising, have kind of started off with a bang. We have like action very early in the story, and I feel like Ruin and Rising just has continued that. We've continued to have like more high stakes, more action, and I feel like the characters are really growing up and making better decisions. I am loving to see it. Also, Balgra is still my favorite character in this series. Obviously, she is the bestest. Team Balgra all the way. I'm having a great time. I'm enjoying this way more than I thought I would, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest of the book.
We were finally able to go hiking when it wasn't freezing cold or super windy out. And I don't think it's a proper vlog of mine anyway without some hiking clips in here.
So I have finished Ruin and Rising. Yay! Just a couple days before the show comes out too, so I'm really excited about that. I know I was really enjoying this book the first half of it, and I was going, everyone's really grown up and things are going great, but the second half I have a lot more mixed feelings on. My biggest thing with this book is the plot twist. It's not a bad plot twist. I just am not sure that I like it in this book or in this series. So I have several thoughts. My biggest issue with the plot twist is it brings the romance front and center again, which the romance had kind of taken a little bit of a backseat to the plot. The problem is the romance in these books are so entwined with the plot that it kind of annoys me. I want to be clear, I don't hate Mel. Whenever I first read these books as a teenager, whenever I first read Shadow and Bone, I was a Melina shipper, okay? But I don't really ship anyone now. I don't really care who characters end up with, as long as they're happy, you know, we have like least amount of drama possible. I don't care who the characters end up with. So I don't care if Melina and Mel end up together. What I care about is the plot twist caused a lot of teenage romance drama to be front and center in the story. Again, teenage Rebecca might not have cared about this and might have even liked it. So I'm really trying to go, teenage Rebecca would have been fine with this. I would have absolutely loved this series if I continued reading it as a teenager. I really like the world this story is set in. I like the magic system. I like the complications. I like the ramifications of some of the stuff that happens. This world is interesting, and I think the plot of this story in general is interesting. I think I would have liked this story better as an adult if this had been told like multiple perspective, third person, the way that Six of Crows is. The way it is currently, we are in Alina's perspective the entire time. We are following her journey and really getting to know her emotions and reactions to everything that's going on, and only seeing everything through Alina's eyes. And I think this story could have been more interesting, more fleshed out, developed, if we were seeing this story through multiple characters' eyes. That's basically why I have mixed feelings on this book, because I think there's something good here. There's something I enjoy about this series, this world, and I wish that I could have loved this as much as I would have when I was a teenager. But you know what? That's fine, because I'm not the target audience for this anymore. Like, teenage me was the target audience for this, so it's perfectly fine to have stories that I can appreciate from afar going, I would have enjoyed this previously. I guess I just wish that I had actually continued the series as a teenager and gotten like the full enjoyment of it at that time, because now I'm just left with, I see things, elements that I enjoy, but I'm not like quite on board with everything. By the end of the book, I was feeling a little unsure whether or not I liked the ending, but then we got to the very last part where Leigh Bardugo goes in that whole thing that she does at the beginning and end of each book, where she goes, a boy and a girl, blah blah blah, and I was like, yes, this is the perfect ending for these characters. I see it, I love it. I just really like the way that she writes those parts. I think those are my favorite parts of the whole series, like the beginning and ending with just like a boy and a girl, this and that. Like, I love it. And it really pushed me over the edge that I was like, yes, I'm on board with this now. It was a really fun series to read. I did enjoy getting to see the end of the Grisha Trilogy for the first time, because this is the first time I read past Shadow and Bone. I do plan on reading Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I've read Six of Crows previously, but I do plan on reading them. They just aren't the books that the show is based on right now. So I was just trying to get through these before the show, which I did, which I'm really excited about, and now I can watch the show, and hopefully I enjoy the show. I have as much fun as I did with these books. Hopefully I might even have more fun with the show than I did with the books. We'll see. Let me know what your favorite aspect of the Grishaverse is, what your favorite books are, all of that stuff. Chat with me about anything Grishaverse in the comments, and I hope to see you in another video. Happy reading!